What it represented. A 66-yard screen pass to Dylan Sampson that showcased Shadir's ability to execute within the offensive system while also creating explosive plays. Screen passes are deceptively difficult to execute properly. The timing has to be perfect. The quarterback has to sell the play action or drop back to get defenders flowing the wrong direction. The throw has to be accurate and have the right velocity. And then the running back has to do his part in turning a short gain into a big play. Everything came together on this touchdown, and it gave Shadur his first career regular season touchdown pass while also putting points on the board in a game Cleveland needed to win. The interception that Shadur threw is worth discussing because of how he responded to it. Every quarterback throws picks. Even the greatest to ever play the position have games where they make bad decisions or throws that don't work out. What separates successful quarterbacks from failures is how they handle those mistakes. Do they let one bad play snowball into multiple errors? Do they lose confidence and start playing scared, or do they shake it off, learn from what went wrong, and come back with better execution on the next series? Shadur clearly falls into that third category, continuing to play with confidence and aggression even after the turnover. The Browns' defense deserves enormous credit for their performance in this game. 10 sacks. Let me repeat that number because it's almost unbelievable. 10 sacks of the opposing quarterback. Myles Garrett was an absolute terror, recording 3 sacks by himself and constantly disrupting the Raiders' offensive rhythm. The pressure was relentless, the execution was dominant, and the result was a Raiders offense that could never get comfortable or establish any kind of consistency. This defensive performance took an enormous amount of pressure off Shadur, allowing him to manage the game rather than feeling like he had to be perfect or carry the entire offensive load. But here's the thing that's easy to overlook. When you have a defense playing that well, the offense still has to do its job. You still have to move the chains. You still have to score points. You still have to avoid turnovers that give the opposition short fields and easy scoring opportunities. Shadur did all of those things well enough to secure the victory, which is exactly what you want from a rookie quarterback in his first start. Nobody expected him to throw for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. The goal was to play smart football, execute the game plan, make plays when opportunities presented themselves, and protect the football. Mission accomplished. The viewership numbers surrounding Shadur's debut, both in pre-Eason and now in the regular season, tell a story about star power and cultural relevance that the NFL absolutely loves to see. His preseason game against Carolina was the most watched preseason contest on NFL Network in nearly a decade, averaging over 2.2 million viewers. That's not just a good number for preseason. That's a staggering number that indicates people were tuning in specifically to watch Shadur Sanders, regardless of the fact that the game had no impact on standings or playoff races. While the exact regular season viewership figures from his start against the Raiders haven't been publicly released with the same specificity as the preseason numbers, the anticipation and buzz surrounding the game suggest it was a massive television event. This was an early season matchup between two teams that weren't considered playoff contenders, the kind of game that normally gets relegated to the early afternoon window and forgotten by Monday morning. But because Shadur Sanders was making his first regular season start, it became must-see television that generated national interest and conversation. The power of the Sanders name cannot be understated in this equation. Deion Primetime Sanders is one of the most recognizable and charismatic athletes in American sports history. He didn't just play football and baseball at the highest levels. He created a brand, a persona, an entire cultural phenomenon that transcended sports and made him a household name even among people who don't follow athletics closely. That legacy, that name recognition, that built-in star power transfers to Shadur in ways that benefit both him individually and the NFL as a business. Think about how rare it is for a 5th-round pick to generate this kind of attention and viewership. Normally, players drafted that late are afterthoughts in the national conversation. They might get some local coverage in their team's market, but nobody outside of hardcore fans and fantasy football degenerates are paying attention to what a 5th-round rookie is doing. But Shadur Sanders is different. He's appointment television. He's a storyline that casual fans care about. He's someone who can move ratings and drive engagement in ways that the vast majority of NFLP